Hello and a warm welcome to you all, dear friends and subscribers, on this cricket happening show today. Dear fans and subscribers, as you know, yesterday I couldn't actually do my cricket show due to some pending commitments that I had. As I said, I'm quite busy here, but I'm trying to eke out time to come and do this cricket happening show because, as you know, you're all dear friends and subscribers who are pretty loyal to my cricket show, which is absolutely great, and it gives me added pleasure in bringing you this cricket show on a daily basis. Well, let's without further ado get back to business here. And yes, we are talking about the first day's play in the deciding test match, the final test match between New Zealand and West Indies, which was played yesterday at the Kensington Oval, Bridgetown in Barbados. And as you know, both the teams are locked at 1-1, and what a fitting finale it would be when the series ends, if at all there is a result in this particular match. Well, so just talking about the game yesterday, stumps on day one. West Indies were 32 for no loss. The openers Chris Gayle and Craig Brathwaite at the crease, and New Zealand were all out for 293. First it was Kemar Roach who went and hit the top order pretty hard by getting 4 wickets for 61 runs, and then it was the turn of the left-arm spinner Benn, who definitely got, we could see some turn on this particular pitch here in Bridgetown in Barbados, and Benn wheeled his arm nicely to capture 5 wickets for 93 runs, probably second or third 5-wicket haul in Test cricket, and New Zealand were all out for 293. So West Indies definitely, I thought that the initiative, New Zealand actually losing the initiative that they took by actually winning the toss and choosing to bat here in the final test match, not really doing justice, as they were all out for 293. Now, just talking about the New Zealand card, well, the start was not good at all. In fact, let me also tell you that Jason Holder of the West Indies made his debut, and also Shane Shillingford came back into the game. So there was no place for Shannon Gabriel, who played in the previous test match. And Shane Shillingford, well, yesterday probably under pressure and probably under a lot of pressure, I would say, that Shane Shillingford's bowling couldn't reflect what would have been expected, as he gave away 53 runs of his 13 overs without a wicket and without a maiden, and probably that's some psychological tension that he has, that his bowling was actually called up, as you know, and then the ICC actually had to really look into it and see how they could help Shillingford, but Shillingford unfortunately didn't really paint a very good picture yesterday in this particular match. Now, just talking about this particular match here, it all started with Tom Latham and Hamish Rutherford getting in to open the innings, and the first wicket, in fact, Kemar Roach was the one who was bowling beautifully, but as far as Jerome Taylor was concerned, Jerome Taylor, I thought he was actually spraying the ball in all directions. The line and length was not perfect, but Kemar Roach was rewarded pretty quickly for keeping up a good line. And what he did is, first he picked up the wicket of Hamish Rutherford, as he was caught by Chandrapal for 4. So he was sent back early to the pavilion. So that was a quick breakthrough provided by Kemar Roach. And after that, Kemar Roach went on to add up a very important wicket of Tom Latham, who has been a sort of a thorn as far as this in this Test series is concerned for the West Indies, as Tom Latham was dismissed LBW by Kemar Roach for 14 with 3 boundaries, which made the score 28 for 2. And then there was a brief revival with Kane Williamson being joined in by Ross Taylor, and both of them put their heads together and slowly but surely taking New Zealand to safety at lunch. But after that, then we also saw some, even though Kane Williamson and Ross Taylor definitely took their time at the crease, but there was a brief time when suddenly Kane Williamson and Ross Taylor started getting boundaries at plenty. In fact, the West Indies bowlers were a bit guilty of bowling short, and that really paid off as far as the New Zealand batsmen were concerned, because they took full toll of the bowling, with Kane Williamson and Ross Taylor combining into a useful partnership. From 28, they actually took the score on to 102, so that was essentially a 74-run partnership, and it was initially they were a bit slow, but towards lunch, as I said, the runs really cascaded from the blade as they hit a lot of boundaries. And Kane Williamson, and after lunch, once again, the West Indies, the bowlers were back, and Williamson, Suleiman Benn, the left-arm spinner, was the one who broke this very important stand that was going on between Kane Williamson and Ross Taylor. As what Suleiman Benn did is that he picked up the wicket of Kane Williamson, got Bravo, bowled Benn for 43 with 7 boundaries. So that made the score 102 for 3. And then, as often happens when two partnerships are going very well and that particular partner gets out, it normally there is a case where the other partner also follows him back to the pavilion. That's what precisely happened as Kemar Roach came into the mix, and he picked up the wicket of Ross Taylor for 45 with 7 boundaries, and that was 114 for 4. So all the hard work was done by Williamson and Taylor before lunch, but after lunch Kemar Roach and Benn struck quite early, and the score at 114 for 4. Brendan McCullum, who was really searching for form, has been really searching for form in this particular test match, in this test series, in fact, no doubt about it, was joined in by Jimmy Neesham. Brendan McCullum continued. I mean, he definitely hit a few boundaries, but once, and Jimmy Neesham also joined him, and Jimmy Neesham decided that attack is the best form to have. So he started attacking the spinners. He also started playing some very nice strokes of the pace bowlers Jerome Taylor and Kemar Roach, and also the debutant Jason Holder, and suddenly the score started building. In fact, Jimmy Neesham was a bit sedate at that time when Brendan McCullum was at the crease, but and Brendan McCullum was gone again to the bowling of Benn. As I said, there was some turn available, and Benn was the Suleiman Benn, the left-arm spinner, was the one who was trying to take advantage of it. He did it pretty well, returning a 5-wicket haul in Test cricket. As I said, it's his second or third 5-wicket haul in Test cricket. And after that, Brendan McCullum, not looking very impressive in his knock of 31 with 5 boundaries, were a victim of Benn. So he was gone. So the 5 wickets were down for 168, and suddenly there was 2 more wickets fell. Jimmy Neesham was at the other end watching when 2 quick wickets fell, with Suleiman Benn absolutely motivated by the wickets that he took of Kane Williamson and Brendan McCullum, picked up 2 quick wickets by first getting rid of BJ Watling pretty quickly, caught Gale, bowled Benn for 1, and then Tim Southee was castled by Benn for 6, and that made the score 194 for 7, and New Zealand were definitely looking down the barrel there, and it definitely required someone. I mean, the only good thing for New Zealand was that Jimmy Neesham was the crease, and then Jimmy Neesham, in the company of Mark Craig, decided that there's no use pottering around. It's better to play some good strokes, and Mark Craig has been showing. In fact, there was a partnership. In fact, from the 194, if at all New Zealand finished on 293 all out, they owe their thanks to Jimmy Neesham, who was pretty aggressive in his own way, and Mark Craig, who has already shown his batting pretensions in the previous Test match, really started showing that once again by really, I would say, really taking more responsibility up to the task to get New Zealand to a respectable score, and he gave admirable company to Jimmy Neesham to push the score on to 258. After Jimmy Neesham, an aggressive innings of 78 was ended pretty unfortunately when he was run out by a Brathwaite-Shillingford combination for 78 with 10 fours and 1 6, and he was the highest scorer yesterday. After that, Mark Craig was at the crease, but Mark Craig had to remain unbeaten on 46 with 4 fours and 1 6, and he saw Neil Wagner being a victim of Kemar Roach for 2, was caught behind, and Trent Boult was the last man to go as he tried to really wanted to hit Benn out of the park, but instead missed the delivery, and Ramadhan behind the stumps did it pretty neatly. So he was stumped for 12 with 1 4 and 1 6, and New Zealand finished on 293 all out. So 293 all out, New Zealand, as I said, they frittered the initiative that they gained by actually winning the toss and electing to bat. Let's have a look at the bowling figures. The bowling figures, well, I can only say that it was dominated by Kemar Roach early in the piece, 18 overs, 2 maidens, 61 runs and 4 wickets, and Suleiman Benn was the one who actually finished it off in fine style, picking up a 5-wicket haul in Test cricket, 26.2 overs, 1 maiden, 93 runs and 5 wickets. I said there is some turn available for the spinners on this pitch, but a slow turn, but one has to wait and watch what would be, because as you know, rain has been falling. Even today morning there has been some drizzle, I heard, but so that will probably, if the sun comes out, pitch dries up, the spinners could play a role. Probably Mark Craig could get an opportunity here, but so Kemar 461, Suleiman Benn 590. Jerome Taylor, I thought he could have bowled much better than what he did. 11 overs, 2 maidens, none for 55. Justin Holder on his Test debut, 10 overs, 4 maidens, none for 24. Shilling for 13 overs, no maiden, none for 53. So New Zealand were all out for 293 in their first dig, and then as far as West Indies were concerned, they got around 9 overs to face on the first day of the third test before stumps, and Chris Gayle was unbeaten on 19 with 3 4s and 1 6. He decided to really attack Mark Craig. In fact, Mark Craig was hit for 3 4s by Chris Gayle in one particular over, and Mark Craig bowled 1 over for 12 runs, and Craig Braithwaite was not out on 11 with 2 4s, with West Indies finishing at stumps on day 1 of the final test match at 33 for no loss here at Kensington Oval, Bridgetown in Barbados. 33 for no loss was the score. And after that, the bowling figures: Trent Boult 4 overs, 2 maidens, none for 8. Tim Southee 3.4 overs, 1 maiden, none for 11. Bowled well, I thought, and they really gave a tough time to both the openers, Gayle and Braithwaite. They would like to continue in the same vein today morning. Mark Craig has led 1 over for 12 runs, 3 4s hit by Chris Gayle. Neil Wagner bowled 1 over, which was a maiden. So, and Neil Wagner also came to the team. Now, also let me go and see whether there is any live scorecard that I can give. I'm trying to get you on live to the Kensington Oval, Bridgetown in Barbados, trying to give you a cricket update and probably wind up my cricket show for today. So let's see the latest situation that is right now prevailing at the Kensington Oval, Bridgetown in Barbados. So I'm just taking you down live to Kensington Oval, Bridgetown, Barbados, to give you a cricket update. Yes, there is some good news as far as the second day's play is concerned. Play has definitely started, so that is something that would be something that would be really welcomed, because there was a forecast for rain. As I said, there was a drizzle in the morning too. I'm just trying to check upon it right now and check whether play has really started. Yes, play has definitely started at Kensington Oval, Bridgetown in Barbados on the second day. The first over was bowled by I think it was Neil. I think it was Southee who bowled the first over of the day on the second day, and it was a pretty decent over, just single being given. And now it's Trent Boult who is in charge of bowling operations. Comes in and bowls to Gayle. Gayle gets a ball on the off stump. He has to actually shuffle onto his off stump, and he just pushes it back to the bowler. So 2 more balls to go in this particular over from Trent Boult, and your cricket happening show for the day would be ending from your host round. So just waiting for the 5th delivery to be bowled. And well, West Indies openers definitely have a task. The ball is pretty new here, just 11 overs old, and it would be pretty interesting to see how Chris Gayle and Craig Braithwaite go through the first session here, because they definitely, and Trent Boult is bowling from the great Joel Garner end here at the Kensington Oval in Bradford. In comes Trent Boult, left arm over the wicket, comes in and bowls to Brathwaite this time, and Brathwaite goes back on his back foot and defends the ball absolutely dead instead of him, dead in front of him. Well, we are going into the final tally. As I said, it will be very interesting to see how Chris Gayle and Craig Brathwaite actually weather the morning session. Pretty interesting. And for West Indies to really put the pressure on the New Zealanders, they definitely have to actually take the initiative right away. So in comes Trent Boult coming in, bowling, passing umpire, bowls to Brathwaite. That's a bouncer, and it was and Brathwaite has to duck. He ducks, and the keeper, BJ Watling behind the stumps, takes it nicely, and as the end of the over. So I'm leaving you, dear fans and subscribers, with this cricket update saying that West Indies are 35 for no loss here after players resumed on the second day of the final test match between West Indies and New Zealand here at Kensington Oval, Bridgetown in Barbados. Well, that's about it, dear fans and subscribers. I'm trying to see whether I can give you some cricket updates. You know, India are definitely in England right now, and India are definitely preparing to take on England in the test series. So for that, there is a county game which is going on. In fact, today I believe that the start has been delayed on the second day between India and Leicestershire, but the Indian batsmen did pretty well yesterday. There was a real warm-up for them, and they did pretty well. So just to tell you what happened, India finished at 334 for 4. Murli Vijay contributed 20 with 3 boundaries. Shikhar Dhawan made 60 with 12 fours. Everybody had to retire because that is a sort of a norm which has been that has been kept. And so Shikhar Dhawan retired after making 60 with 12 boundaries. Gautam Gambhir on his comeback to the Indian team made a decent 54 with 7 boundaries. Cheteshwar Pujara also looked good with his 57 with 8 boundaries. Virat Kohli unfortunately couldn't really capitalize. He made 29 with 3 boundaries before he actually pulled the ball, dragged the ball outside his off stump into his stumps of the bowling of the spinner Thakur. Ajinkya Rahane was pretty aggressive with his knock of unbeaten 47 with 7 boundaries. Rohit Sharma played pretty aggressively to score 43 with 5 fours and 1 6. India finished at 333 for 4 against Leicestershire. And as far as the bowling was concerned for the Leicestershire, Anthony Ireland 1 for 55, 1 for 31 for Thakur, the spinner. Other than that, all the other people, as you know, they retired. They didn't really go through their full batting. That is the norm that has been set up here. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I'm going to leave you right now. Let me see what's the latest update here. I'm just trying to see the latest update at Kensington Oval, Bridgetown in Barbados. Before I leave you, dear fans and subscribers, from this cricket show. Yes, the score doesn't have much of a movement here, with the score rating 35 for no loss for the West Indies, and 35 for no loss. Chris Gayle is not out 20. Craig Brathwaite is batting on 11. So that really sums up my cricket happening show for the day. Thanks for your company and hope you all enjoyed it. Tomorrow Saturday is, you know, it's a late cricket happening show. I'll have to see, but I can't really promise you, dear friends. I'll try to come on to cricket happenings because there's a lot of work going on in the house, and if at all time permits, you'll definitely see me on my late cricket happening show tomorrow on Saturday. That's about it, dear fans and subscribers of cricket happenings. See you all as and when time permits. Until then, it's goodbye for the day. Thank you.